Hello there everybody, it's Nathan again. Time for another Take 10 10-minute art challenge where I put aside 10 minutes of my day and actually draw something. This will be the first thing I'm drawing today, so it won't be very good. I've broken out another brown paper sketchbook. If you're familiar with my work at all, you've probably seen the published sketchbook I have on my Gumroad. Most of that was done in a sketchbook just like this one. Brown paper gives me a chance to not have to worry so much about the midtones, which is handy. And this is going to be a marker sketch eventually. I might not get that far on it tonight, but... And I learned this marker technique from watching the videos of another one of my art heroes. I tend to mention one of them every night when I do one of these things, because I just can't help thinking about the influence they've had and how much I've learned from these people. Terrell has a YouTube channel where he has all kinds of great videos on technique and caricature, marker use. Of course, he uses his own sketchbook as well for his markers, and just inspirational stuff too, because he's done a lot with his art. He's come a long way, I think, with his art. He's shown a lot of his very earliest sketchbooks online, and it's quite comparable to my experience too. He did a lot more like anime, manga, fan art stuff than I did as a kid, but I'm probably older than him, so it wasn't as big a thing when I was a little kid. I remember tracing a lot of pictures of Superman from comic book covers, and that was sort of the main thing I did when I was learning. Still learning, but that's what I remember specifically. But yeah, people like him, and I'm highlighting him because of the marker theme tonight, but people like him on YouTube and internet in general have taught me a lot. I was talking to someone today about art school. I'm not sure where you guys fall in art school. Most people have varying opinions. A lot of really good professional artists have said that they don't think it's worth the money. And having gone through art school and having a huge art student debt, I'm inclined to agree. You learn a lot of socializing stuff. You learn a lot of collaboration stuff that you wouldn't learn otherwise until you got the job. But as far as the cost to benefit ratio for art school, nowadays with the YouTube and the learning classes you can do online, you can learn so much for free that it really doesn't make much sense to get $40,000 in debt when you're just starting your career. Personally, I think. Everything I say on here is just my opinion, as if I need to state that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to start off with that much of a deficit that you can never really get out of it. It might take you decades to pay that off. Especially if work is hard to come by to start with. You need to be able to start your work with the least possible restriction on you. And I think having that much debt is not a good thing when you start. It wasn't for me, and I'm still trying to get started. It also helps if you don't give up halfway through your career and decide not to draw anymore like I did. So yeah, it's a long road back, but even really bad decisions can be recovered from as long as you don't give up. Keep trying. Don't give up and keep trying. They're sort of the same thing. And you're good. That's all it really takes. Persistence and dedication is the heart of everything. It also really helps if you have supportive family and friends. People who listen to you, especially if they have no idea what you're talking about. That's when you can tell they really care. They shouldn't have any interest at all, but they're still paying attention and trying to make it better. Trying to sympathize, trying to give you what you need to achieve what you're trying to achieve. That's when you can feel the love. Okay, at about the 5-minute mark here. So I'm going to stop the pencil, get into the marker. Just checking to see where the camera's actually getting. You can see this or not. That was just a plain old 2B pencil. Here in Australia and most British places they call it HB. Same things. Number 2 pencil, basically. And this is a new brand of marker, which I don't have that much experience with. Mepzi? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. MEPXY. It's sort of a mid-grade marker. It's not quite a Copic, and it's not quite the cheapest markers you can get. Cheap alcohol-based markers, of course. But it's pretty good. Blendable. It blends well with Copics, so I use it with my Copics occasionally. The color selection is pretty good. The price is not bad, and in Australia that's a big deal, because I'm not sure about the States exactly, but Copics here can be really expensive. I'm talking like $15 a piece expensive. And yeah, they last for years, and yeah, it's a good investment and everything, but $15 for a marker just, that chafes something deep inside me. I don't think I could pay that much for a marker. These are more like $7 for here, which is probably pretty good. My whole sense of economic right and wrong is a bit skewed now. Living in one of the most expensive places in the world to live makes it difficult to judge. I grew up in one of the cheapest places in the States to live, and then I moved to one of the most expensive places in the world to live, so it's hard to keep up. But like the song says, it doesn't matter where you're at, it matters where you're going. I went back to marker tonight because it's faster than painting. Still get some tonal effects. Gives me a chance to use these new markers, which I haven't used since I got pretty much. And you can do a monotone drawing relatively quickly. Probably not in 10 minutes, but relatively quickly. For instance, I think my 10 minutes is pretty much up. But since that's the minimum, I'm going to keep drawing until at least I get something down for this guy. Some roughs. Been thinking about what I might do to promote the channel and the challenge. Not that I'm asking anyone else to take up the challenge or anything, just to keep myself interested. I do have a mailing list, and I do give away paintings and drawings. What I've been doing lately is giving away sketchbooks with canvas covers that I've painted an acrylic painting on. I'm doing that kind of thing. I want to do a giveaway where I give away some of my small format MDF paintings, which by that I mean something like this. Just a little piece of MDF, like fake plywood kind of stuff with acrylic painting on it. I've sealed it with gel coat. Just little things like that. It's small, so it's easy to mail. It's lightweight, so it's not going to kill me in shipping. And I can give it away to someone who wants a real painting from me, such as it is. So yeah, I just have to figure out what kind of contest to run, and I want to do one of those promo contests where you like, tweet, or favorite the thing to drive interest. Get some more eyes on this stuff, because I think it's cool when people see your thing, you know? Maybe somebody the more people that see it, the more people are likely to get something out of it. There's bound to be somebody who can use some of this advice. Or just likes seeing grimacing monsters be drawn. I'd watch it. If I wasn't doing it. So yeah, I'll come up with something, hopefully in the next couple of days, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. Also simultaneously posted on my Facebook, Google+, and on the Tumblr, which is my daily sketch blog, nathandrawsdaily.tumblr.com. It's pretty much where I put everything. At least the beginnings of it. It's funny, I have a professional illustration portfolio site, but there's just not that much on it. I haven't done anything I felt was finished enough to go on there in a very long time. And I've sort of changed direction since then. A lot of it's these marker drawings. I haven't really done one of these in a long time, like 5 months, 6 months. I got into painting, and then I got back into pen and ink because it was faster, and I wanted to do some certain pen and ink stuff, so I don't know, you always come back to the things you love. That was my phone, making little noises. Another key thing to getting this scrap done every day, ignore those noises while I'm busy, if possible. That's why I can only do this when I'm supposed to be asleep. Every other time of the day I've actually got responsibilities I can't ignore, so I trade my sleep for this, and I think it's worth it. At least what I'm getting out of it's worth it, so hopefully you guys get something out of it. But in order to keep the stakes low for myself emotionally, I just tell myself, you know, it's just for me. It's so funny, little games we play on ourselves. Okay, almost done with this. I'm just going to give a little more highlighting here. It's a bit of a hot mess with the lighting here. I'm just playing around. Normally what I would do is go over almost all of it with this one shade and then let it dry and go back over it with the same marker or a darker tone to do the shadows. Since I'm doing this all monotone, I have to let each layer dry first, and I don't have a lot of time for that, so you get some semi-dry blending. Parts of it will be dark enough for my liking, parts of it won't. That's the cool thing about this challenge. I don't have to finish a drawing in 10 minutes. I just have to actually perform 10 minutes worth of work to feel like I've done something. And hey, the more the merrier. Yesterday, I think I clocked in yesterday at almost an hour on that painting. Maybe when it's done, that'll mean something, but it was important to me to actually get something in the video for you guys yesterday, and I really wanted to keep going on that painting, so that's why I did that instead of doing something from the beginning. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. Feel free if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments, and I'll be glad to address those next time. I'm hoping to do these every day pretty much, so I should be able to catch up pretty fast. I thought about trying to do this as a live stream at some point, but that has got to be a future plan because I can't promise when I'm going to be able to pull these off. It is a spare time problem. I mean, again, I'm having to plan to draw for 10 minutes, so planning a podcast and drawing for 10 minutes is probably a bit too much work. But hey, we have fun. Another cool thing about these markers, you can't really make that much of a mistake, because if you start light and work dark, which you kind of have to do with these things, you can always cover over any kind of problems you have. Will Terrell taught me that too. He's got a great video just on using the markers. You should check out his channel. I'll put a link. Take a look at it. Even if you're not interested in markers, his artwork is great. His caricatures, his characters. Watch his people sketching videos. Listen to his stories about working as a comic book artist. And his current struggles to be a storyboard artist. He's just a cool guy. And he knows a lot about art, so that's why I love listening to him. No idea who this bulbous little character is. I guess this is me. Most of my monsters are me. This is sort of my self-image. I have a little more hair than this. The rest of it's pretty right. Oh, I've got more fingers so far. Maybe it's the future me. If you guys haven't guessed, I am completely sleep deprived, and I sound like I've been drinking all day, but I don't actually drink, and apparently don't actually sleep, so that's why I sound like I'm out of my mind. I'm tired. But some things are important. Some promises you make yourself, you really need to keep. You may notice also I have a piece of white paper underneath here. It's because it tends to bleed through. That's a trick I learned pretty early on. That's an important one. Sometimes the bleed through is actually more interesting than the drawing originally. Like if you find out, you go back over it with ink to do the lines and you screw that up, you still got a kind of neat ghost image on the back. I had one of those in the old sketchbook. Alright, may have reached the limit of this marker's capacity to go dark over itself. And I've definitely reached the limit of my 10-minute video. So I'm going to go ahead and end this now. Thanks everybody for watching. Check out the links for the Will Terrell's video channel, and check him out on YouTube. He's also got some cool stuff for sale on Gumroad, so look at that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.